or live?
Oh, because it says live right there in the corner. It's pretty high tech stuff. Closed. Oh, unused application. We still good?
Yep, we're good.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. So today is our Facebook Live session. My name is Steve Drew. I'm Chief of Police here at Newport News. And we do these conversations, these chats, if you will. I just kind of share and talk to the community. And I wouldn't say it's replaced community meetings, but it's certainly a different version. And I am probably, technology is not my strong point. So when we talk to work with our media relations team, and Sarah's here with me today, working with our media relations team has talked about how important, as we went through COVID, and we talked about different things, a way to reach out, that Facebook Live sessions, that one, you can watch them or watch them at whenever's convenient for you, or stop and start them. You can get more citizen input, that you can send in a question or a response or suggestion or idea. But the whole point really for me is just to have open conversations and communicate with our community. I'll try to share some things that were going on in the police department, kind of where we've been, where we're at now, and where we're headed to in the future. We'll talk about some hot topics. I certainly want to do that today, being in February and Black History Month. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But I just appreciate all of you for what you do in our city, our community, the relationship we have with our citizens. And I know we may look at things differently, and we may not always agree, but I do believe that we can come together and have good conversations and move forward. I have learned that it's important to talk, to have good relationships and conversations where we can talk about issues and situations, circumstances, and we kind of meet somewhere in the middle. And that's how we move forward. It's not anybody trying to push values or anything on anyone else. We're just having good conversation. So being here the next hour, what I'm going to do is, I've got some names popping up already. I'm going to say some hellos here in just a minute. But it really just gives me a chance to interact with you all, the community. And any question you send in, I'll do my very best to respond to and answer. Precursor, disqualifier, I guess, is I will try to be open and transparent. I think that's important. We talk about 21st century policing. I'll be as open and transparent as I can. I just don't want to hurt any active case. So if someone says, can you tell me what's going on with this case or that case, I will go so far, but I don't want to jeopardize anything on ongoing investigations, if that makes sense. Forgive me, I got a little bit of a cough. It's not COVID. I've been tested. I've also been vaccinated and boosted and revaccinated. But I do got a little bit of a dry throat. So before we get started, I say my hellos. I'll get my drink of choice. There we go, a little Diet Mountain Dew action. I was doing one of these sessions a couple months ago, and a young man, he texted me, or I guess sent in a response, and he said, Chief, Diet Mountain Dew is on sale at Food Line. So he was looking out for me. So let me first start by again saying thank you for all being here. Rhea, thank you. Roderick, how are you, my friend? It's always good to have you on board. You're a great resource to our community, and thank you, sir. Victoria, it's good to have you. Thank you for being here. Let me scroll down just a little bit. How are you? Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. Debbie, good afternoon. Good to see you, Debbie. Roderick. So our first question. Do we have a community review board in the city of Newport News? A community review board. So we have, Roderick, when I got to town, there was a CRIME, like C period R period, a crime group. There was a community board, and we talked about issues that were going on the community, and they tried to take on roles and tasks. It got somewhat fragmented. So when I came here, the assistant city manager talked to me about it. We revamped that, and we called it CUFA, right? Citizens United for Action. And we've done the same thing. We tried to take on different tasks. We've had some struggles, and COVID certainly didn't help anybody. So is there a board in place loosely? But I will tell you, that's something that I'm really looking at, that an advisory type board made up of citizens of our community that just come in and that, hey, this is a policy that we're looking at. This is our pursuit policy. What do you think? This is our hiring practices. What do you think? This is our staffing levels. What do you think? to just bounce ideas off of citizens who care about their community and talk about real issues. It's not an oversight committee. It's not a policy committee. It would be a group of citizens that I just have conversations with, share what we're doing, and I want your input and have those. I believe that those conversations are viable. So it is one of the things, a matter of fact, yesterday and Thursday we'll finish. The Newport News Police Department does a balanced scorecard. I submit that every March to the city manager. It is what our goals are for 2022. I'll also submit one for 2021. So we sent originally back in February what our goals were for 2021. Now at the end of the year, did we meet those goals? What's our scorecard? Do we meet our recruiting numbers? Do we meet our crime reduction numbers? Do we meet our clearance rates? Did we meet the initiatives, the community events that we wanted to do? Yes, 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 no. And if any goal that we didn't meet, there'll be an explanation. We couldn't do 7 community forums in the public because COVID wouldn't allow us to do it. However, we did do 3 or 4 forums on social media. So those type things. But it keeps us balanced, and it keeps every division in this department, every officer, every employee, every sworn-in civilian, it keeps us directed at what our goals are. And then every Thursday when we have our ComStat meeting, whether we're measuring how much overtime money we spent, what are we doing in crime in this particular neighborhood. One of the goals was to reduce the crime in Beachmont. One of the goals this year is to reduce crime in Aqueduct, and a percentage of what we want to reduce it by. So it keeps us all grounded. I don't want us to get off and doing A, B, and C when, hey, we said we were going to focus on D, and we haven't done that. Now we're in July, right? So it sets the tone for us for the whole year that this department. Now we'll still, things happen, they pop up, we'll respond to, but when we get back, this is what we're trying to move forward. So we'll finish up that balanced scorecard, and one of the things, I bring all that up, Robert, one of the things is talking about that community board, whether it's called an advisory committee, advice committee, I don't know what the right title is, but it's just a group of citizens from, all over our city that maybe we would meet once a month and just talk about, hey, these are things that's going on, kind of like conversations we're having here. So that's a great idea, and that's a great question. Keith, how are you doing, my friend? Good afternoon, Chief, from Henrico. Don't touch the wires. Looking forward to NP Tillman to our big job fair event in Ashland. You're going to do it again. Great. Lieutenant Collins getting in the dunk tank. I think that's a great idea. Lieutenant Collins would do great in the dunk tank. And let me share with you, since you brought up the wires, right? So we're in a little different setting. It's a little closer today. We have remodeled our media relations division. They were on our second floor of police headquarters. We moved them up to the third floor. We're restructuring it. I'm going to say some things I probably have no idea what I'm talking about, right? But a green wall or a green space or a green drop where we can put different graphics, a sound system. It's just really kind of upgrading because we do so much with social media. And if you ask me, were any of this my idea? No. I don't know how to structure it. I don't know how to plan it. I don't know where to put it. I still don't touch anything. I see new lights hanging and all that. I don't know what any of that means. But what I do know is the product they put out is phenomenal. So I'm sitting here with Sarah today. Happens to be Sarah's birthday. I teased her. She's 25 years old today, right? Give or take a year. But Sarah's here with me enjoying her birthday, making sure I don't touch anything and everything works. And then I think we're going to be together again this evening, or me and Kelly this evening. Who's doing?
Julie.
Me and Julie will be doing this evening. So that I'll be back at 6 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, I guess late afternoon, early evening to continue the discussion. So Keith, I look forward to coming up to Ashland. It was a great event last year. I bought a couple books. It was great to see everybody out recruiting. It's one of the things we're trying to do more and more in law enforcement. So yeah, I look forward to see you. Sylvia, how are you? I hope things are going well. Miss you. I hope everything is going good in where you're at, and I look forward to seeing you again. We had our Sylvia is one of our former young adult police commissioners. That's our high school students, freshmen, sophomore, junior, and senior from every high school in our city. Just last week, we had our elections. So we selected a president, 2 vice presidents, and a secretary. And all 4 of those will accompany me to our next city council meeting where they will introduce themselves to the mayor and city council. They're not asking for money. They're not asking for anything. What they want to do is, my name is so-and-so. I am from such and such high school. And we are part of the Young Adult Police Commissioners. And our mission is to bring youth to the conversation, to work with law enforcement, that they understand youth better, that youth understand us better. And how do we move forward working together? What can we do for our city together? So they'll be doing interviews with me, community walks, projects. We'll work with homeless. We'll work with individuals when we talk about diversity. We will have the TV outlets will come in and teach them how to do interviews. And so it's a great bunch of kids. And we learn as much from them as they do from us. And Sylvia is one of our alumni. It's good to have her today. Let's see. Good morning. This is the first time here. Are we able to ask anything within reason? Absolutely. And so I haven't got my glasses on, and I got a little bit of a glare. So is it Lexi? Am I saying that right? So Lexi, yes, you can ask any question. Like I said, the only thing, I probably won't go into an ongoing case because I don't want to hurt anything, but I try to be open and transparent. So please, whatever's on your mind, thoughts, ideas, suggestions, please feel free. As we go through, Sarah kind of keeps you on track. If we go through, and sometimes it's Facebook, sometimes it may be us, but if I skip one, if someone posts something and I don't see it, first let me apologize, but we track all of it after we're finished, and we will go back. So anything I miss, any comment I miss, I apologize. I'll try to hit each one. But yes, Lexi, please, whatever's on your mind, thoughts, please feel free. Shay, how are you? It's good to have you here. Thank you. Mr. Lash, it's good to have you on board, my friend. Thank you. Tim, afternoon, buddy. Thanks for being here today. John, appreciate what the environmental officer is doing. You know, John, I tell you, I believe that John's talking about an environmental officer. We're doing a pilot program right now. So it's a police officer who works with addressing, when we say environment, we're working with works and utilities, illegal dumping. We're also focusing on blight, right? Vehicles that are broken down in the roadway, apartments that are abandoned, have been boarded up and the woods come off, properties that are overgrown that no one's taking care of, shrubs that block stop signs or yield signs, whatever it might be, illegal dumping of tires in someone's backyard or on city property, mattresses thrown in an alley or dumped off on some sidewalk on a corner where kids catch a bus in the morning and have to see dirty mattresses laying. So an environmental officer is kind of working with, it's a resource and liaison with other entities that address blight and do it very, very quickly in some of our neighborhoods. So running a pilot program in our southeast community. We did ask for that in our budget. We just had our budget hearing. That'll be something I'll talk about. But I'd like to expand that for one environmental officer in each precinct to address blight and issues and lighting and how we address crime through environmental design. We get trash picked up. Some dumpsters are very, very small in some apartment complexes or areas, and people just dump trash. And sometimes it's not even people who live there, right? But what happens is when trash overflows and it gets wet, it can rodents and disease and stuff like that. So we need to get that stuff picked up. Our guys do a phenomenal job in the city, but having an environmental officer there, it can be very, very focused on areas that we're trying to address. So neighborhood X, we want to increase the lighting. Sometimes it's just cleaning the lenses of the bulbs, right? We want to address lighting. We want to get trash picked up. We want to get houses that are boarded up, overgrown shrubs, get that grass cut back. So the environment where someone lives or a community, it plays a big role in what goes on in that community. So that's the thought process. So John, I appreciate your partnership, the instruction. We also work with the fire marshals. It's kind of a core group, and I think it has a lot of potential. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Roderick. A community review board for police of all shootings there by law. No. So Roderick, no. If that's your question, we do not. We have a use of force review board that reviews every use of force. It's 5 citizens and 4 officers. And I will tell you, I had a meeting with the state NAACP about 6 months ago, and there were several police departments that were there, state police, and one of the members of the NAACP talked about, Chief, we can't get any buy-in for these oversight committees, these citizen review boards like you. And I said, it's very, very challenging. There's 1 or 2 departments that have it in the state, and they struggle with it. Problem is, police will never. It's very, very difficult for citizens who don't do our job, who don't take radio calls of, hey, there's a fight in progress, there's shots fired, and you're driving and getting out, there's an individual down on the sidewalk, there's 2 more people. It's easy to sit behind a table and look at that. Even myself, when I review them, to sit on a table, I can fast forward, I can stop. We all have body-worn cameras here, right? I can stop, I can go get a cup of coffee or something to drink, come back, play it, reverse, in a very air-conditioned setting. That's not what officers go through. You can't put that in decisions. So I struggle with that. I don't have civilians that look and see what a doctor's did the right surgery or not. I would never try to oversee what a teacher does in a classroom. Are they doing the right thing or not? I don't know that. Now, my mom taught 30 years in the 3rd grade. I certainly wouldn't tell her how to teach. But is there a place for it? I also think citizens, I think we're so far advanced in law enforcement today that citizens aren't going to look at a police department and say, you can make determinations. good actions or bad actions. So what do? We have these two different polls. What about this? Just like I told the NAACP for our state, you bring those together. And that's what we have here. I have 5 citizens and 4 officers. So the citizens outweigh the officers. So there's a total of 9. Everybody gets a vote. In policy, out of policy, or it's in policy, but here's some recommendations. And observers, we can invite some observers in, but they don't vote. It's 5 citizens, 4 officers. And then on the side of the room, I have our academy instructors. So if a citizen says, well, why didn't you tase that individual in the back? Well, if someone's running, my motion's here, right? Someone's running, and I get tased in the back, and I'm locked up, I fall forward, I could injure myself. So we don't practice. That's not the best place to tase someone. Now, if someone's just committed a murder and they're running away, those circumstances, I can justify that. But it's good to have those discussions. So I don't believe it should be all citizens. I don't believe it should be all law enforcement. But I think bringing groups together, that's how we move forward. And I think in most instances, it is great conversations. It's great questions. And I use it here in the police department also as a learning tool. Not only that we do in evaluating ourselves, but, hey, what can we do better? What are things that citizens ask for that officers might not look at? In the 4 officers that I have on the panel, it's an officer, a sergeant, a lieutenant, and a captain. So an officer, hey, what are citizens asking? A sergeant, what should I be telling my officers at roll call? A lieutenant and captain who look at a bigger overview of the department. How do things work? I believe that is a measure for success. We've had that for 3 years. And I'm telling you, we have principals, teachers, pastors, individuals from the military who've been retired, business owners, bankers, activists, NAACP members that come in and sit on that board. And I'll tell you, I think it is very, now I would tell you when I brought it here, there was some pushback. Chief, they don't understand. They may not. But I do ask them to go to a Citizens Academy because when you talk about use of force, that can go on for a couple hours. So I asked them to go through a Citizens Academy. It's 1 or 2 nights a week for 6-7 weeks. And we expose the department to them. So I've got about probably 500 people to pull from. The panel's diverse. But they have a background in, okay, this is use of force, and this is proper procedure, and this is how they drive, and this is how the information comes through on a radio call. So they are those citizens are very, very informed. They have some background, and it makes a world of difference. And it's also citizens and officers coming together. So again, it's 5 citizens, 4 officers. And Roderick, if you'd ever like to just come in and observe it, man, shoot me an email or text. I'll get you to come to the next one. We do one each month. So in February, we review January. In March, we would review February's incidents. And we have a body-worn camera, every officer here. So one thing I'll say when I do the opening is I'm not showing you 30 seconds of 4 individuals maybe addressing a female. And someone driving down Jefferson Avenue at 45, because we all do the speed limit, right? 45 miles an hour and take a quick picture and spend 15, 20 seconds on Facebook. Oh, here's 4 officers on a female. There must be harassing her. You're going to see the full 5 minutes. You're going to see the radio call. You're going to see the officer exit the vehicle, approach the individual. The individual talk about, I want to hurt myself. Maybe have a pocket knife where they're cutting their arm, and officers try to stop that. They're not trying to hurt anyone. They're trying to save her life, to prevent her from hurting herself. It's a whole different narrative when you see the whole story, and not just 30 seconds. Now, please don't get me wrong. In law enforcement, let me just say for my department, our department, we make mistakes. We do not always get it right. It's okay to evaluate things and how do we do better. It's not a blame game. And in that review board, officers come and citizens can ask the officers whatever question. Other officers can ask the officer whatever question they want. You know, as long as we're talking about, this is not asking about, hey, where's your hometown, right? But why did you do this? How did you feel this way? Because the officers do a report, and you have the body-worn camera, but it's also something for the officer to say, this is what was in my mind. I was here 2 days prior, and there was a shooting inside that apartment, so that's why I was a little hesitant to walk in right away. Wanted to make sure my backup was there. But it gives you some insight, and it is a real 360 approach, and I believe it's been very, very effective. We've had the state from DCJS, who overlooks all training academies, all accreditations for departments, to come down and look at our process, and I'll tell you, it's been very, very beneficial. So it's a great question, Roderick. You're very locked in, man. I really appreciate that, sir. Mr. Easley, Happy early birthday. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to be a year older here in a couple days, so it's starting to show a little bit. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Colleen. Colleen is saying happy birthday to Sarah.
Thank you.
Sarah says thank you. She's shaking her finger at me. Keith, okay, Keith, I got it. Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Maybe I'll bring her up to Ashland and let her see all the different departments. Victoria, how do you apply to become part of the police department? Victoria, that is a great question. We can apply online. I will tell you though, if you want, we're always hiring. We're recruiting all year long. We have an academy of 13 that graduate next week. We have an academy of We have an academy of 13 that graduate in March. We're doing a promotion ceremony next week. And then we have an academy of 28 that just started, and we're hiring for the academy in April. So if that's something you're interested in, if you'll send me a name and number, I'll have a recruiter call you, or if you know someone who's interested, I'll have a recruiter call you. We can go do paperwork right away. But you can apply online, and we are always hiring. And I will tell you, just a heads up, we can teach you how to do reports. We can teach you policy and procedure. We can teach you all the stuff on this utility belt, all the stuff in a vehicle. We teach you to drive the police cars. But what I cannot teach is heart. I'm looking for people to come to this department who care about people, that have a heart for people, that want to make things better, that people matter to them, right? So that's what I'm trying to bring, people who can think outside the box, that are creative, new ideas. That's the type of people I'm looking for. And if that's you, I would love to have you join our team. Some chiefs run their department as a paramilitary. Some run it as a business. I try to run it as a family. We don't cover for each other, but we do look out for each other. And that means making sure that we're safe, making sure that we're mentally straight, mentally prepared, physically, that we work together as a team, as a family. And we don't always agree. But I will tell you this. I know the sacrifices officers make to join law enforcement. I know the birthdays they miss, the nights that they work, right? There's no day off as far as there's no time when there's no one here. We don't all go home at 5 o'clock. There's officers that work daytime, evening, and midnight. We have to have officers here on the weekends. Sometimes we have to come out when we're home because there's been a violent crime, a protest, a demonstration. I know what people give up, time from their families and things that they would like to be doing in their personal lives. But to have a heart to serve people, that's value to me. So that's why I run this department like a family. People who come here, they matter to me. Sworn and civilian both, they matter to me. I treat them like members of a family. Annette, Chief Drew, I have a concern. It's not as bad now that it's daylight in the morning. However, is there anything that could be done on Old Courthouse Way to provide a safe walking area for the students walking to Denby High School? I take my son to school, but I just don't want anyone to hurt or, Annette, it's a great question. Is there anything to be done? Is it Annette, help me a little bit. Is it a lighting issue in the community, or are there lights there but they're not bright enough, or are they off? Help me a little bit, but I can certainly take a look at it. Courthouse Way, walking area for students walking to Denby High School. I'll certainly take a look at it. I know the area you're talking about. I certainly know Denby High School. But yeah, let me. If you can send me something a little more, let me just kind of take a look at it and what some of the concerns are. Lorraine, y'all have junior officer program? If so, how long can they be? My son has wanted to be an officer for 3 years now. He's certain it's what he wants to do. Lorraine, wow. So, how old is your son? We do have some cadet programs. We have a young adult police commissioner program if your son's in high school. We pre-hire. Matter of fact, I was just talking about hiring 2 high school students. You have to be 21 when you graduate the academy. But we can, as long as you turn 21 before graduation day. And the academy's 7 or 8 months. They get mad at me because I keep adding extra classes. But if that's something he wants to do, let me know how old he is, and we can find something. I don't know if it's high school or middle school, but we can get him involved, and love to meet him and talk with him. And it is a great. Let me tell you, this profession is hard. It's challenging. But I'll tell you this: it is extremely rewarding. I know of no other profession where you can get up and find yourself helping individuals in the worst situations they find themselves in for that moment, right? A traffic accident, robbery, a shooting, a home being broken into. My mother's missing. She has Alzheimer's. My son's run away from home. When people call 911, they need immediate help. And it's law enforcement who are there first, whether it's something to do with mental illness or a crisis, someone who's homeless. This profession is extremely rewarding, and you meet so many fascinating people. So, yeah, Lorraine, just let me know. Colleen, is Orchid Avenue the new Indianapolis 500? Cars are flying down here so fast we could use some speed bumps. So, Colleen, on speed bumps, so that kind of works with the fire department, and they do these studies. Some neighborhoods have them. Some concerns are vehicles that go through, larger vehicles, fire trucks, and speed bumps may not be the best for them. We talk a lot about enforcement. I will tell you that we do have some shortages. Probably the number one complaint I'm getting right now is traffic enforcement. High impact intersections along Jefferson Avenue where we see the majority of our really bad accidents. But I can pass your concern on to the South Precinct Captain. Captain Funiak is our new precinct captain in South Precinct. And it can maybe some initiatives we do, or maybe try to get some officers there and help me. Maybe, and I might have missed it, so I apologize. Is it early in the morning, afternoon, or all day long? What kind of time frame do you see some of that speeding in? But we can certainly take a look at that, and I can give those complaints directly to that precinct captain. They have approximately about 100 officers at their disposal, so they can focus on that. Thank you for bringing that up. Keith, don't know if you've heard, but Chief Goodman announced his retirement from Ashland. I did not know that. Chief Goodman has also been a mentor to me. I did not know. Is he going retiring, enjoying life, or does he have something planned afterwards? But I did not know that. April 1 of this year. Well, I'll have to reach out to him and talk to him. But wow, thanks for Keith. Thanks for letting me know. Doug is a good man, and he's helped me a lot. Sandra, I would love to serve on. Sandra, I'll tell you, I'm still trying to put that together. I would love to have something by April, but if you'll send me a contact number, a way to get a hold of you, Sandra, I can reach out and we can have a conversation, okay? Lexi, this might seem a little weird. I will tell you, sometimes I get calls, Chief, I got this weird question. It's okay, let's see, without the backstory. But I knew time is limited. Is it against the law for me to leave my 6-year-old son outside the door of the family bathroom at a store? Will I go into and use the bathroom? Short reason for question. Someone was going to call the police for me doing just the other night, so I would like to know. Is it against the law? No. Is it a good practice? Probably not. People are very, very hypervigilant when they see issues with children, and if they see someone outside. 20 years ago, I don't think anybody would have thought about it. But today, I think people, we preach so much. If you see something, say something. And we've got some bad stories out there in the world. So is it against the law? No. What would happen? Officer would come, make sure that the young man's okay, make sure you're okay. And just, hey, someone called. And that's really what we ask people to do. If you see something you're concerned about, call, let us know. We'll investigate it. And if it's nothing, so be it. I would rather get a call and it be nothing, right, than not to get a call and there'd be something critical that happens. So I can understand someone calling, but is it against the law? No. But no, that's not that weird of a question. That makes a lot of sense. So I appreciate that. Johnson, what's up in my what's up in my my Wi-Fi is acting up at the Y in the Newport News. You lost me. Am I missing something? Sarah says she's not getting it either, Mr. Johnson. You got to help me out a little bit. Keith, if you come to Ashland on May 22nd, police departments all over, at least. Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Okay. What about being an innocent man but still get locked up due to false information? So, if you're asking me, could that ever happen? Yes. None of us are perfect. None of us. So if I become a teacher, if I become a social worker, if I become a police officer, a fireman, if I become a minister or whatever, none of us are perfect. We're going to make mistakes. What we try to do is put in policies and procedures and training and the right personnel and the right leadership and the right fail-safes so that we reduce that happening. But I think you've seen through our history in this country and around the world that if someone, this person's innocent, but these two individuals conspire, oh no, he did it or she did it. Sometimes weeding through and trying to find the truth. So your question or your statement is, what about being an innocent man but still get locked up due to false information? It's unfortunate. We try to rectify that if we know about it. But I'm not naive enough to say, oh, that never happens. Chemist, I said earlier, I don't know if you were on, in this profession, we do not always get it right. I can tell you now, we make mistakes. And believe it or not, we're going to make mistakes tomorrow. But I do think what sets us apart is the ability to admit that when we make a mistake, to say that we're sorry, that we got it wrong. Here's what happened. Here's what we're doing to fix it, so we hope it doesn't happen again. Here's the training that we're involving. And there may or may not be discipline. I think people can learn from that as well. Our goal would be to be perfect, but I don't know any department that is. I don't know any entity that is. And people do not join this profession to be rich. I believe that the majority join this profession, raise their right hand and take an oath because they care about people and want to make a difference. And there's not a lot of people that are willing to do that. To put their life on the line on every time they get a radio call, to leave their families don't know if they come home. It is a hard profession, but it is extremely rewarding. I'm not justifying anything about mistakes that are made. I think it's incumbent upon leadership and policies and procedure and training to fix those and address those. But could they happen? Yes, they could. Roger, sounds fair to me. Other cities like Virginia Beach need to hear you. Roger, I don't know. They start taking me out of Newport News, talking to other cities. I might get myself in trouble, my friend. Maybe me and you can go together. I feel safer with you. Tim, do you still have the grieving program once? Tim, do you mean the homicide support group meeting? If that's what you mean, we do. Matter of fact, they just met last Wednesday. We had 3 or 4 families come, and they really support each other. They support the department. The department supports them, and they talk about. And it's not just, we even had one family show up that moved here from Oakland, California. They had lost someone in Oakland, and they just found it, able to. How do you get through birthdays? How do you get through anniversaries? How do you get through these moments? What do I do when I'm just depressed and think about my son, my daughter, my mom, and my dad? So we absolutely do. Captain Matrosky, Lieutenant Fish, Sergeant Gale, and Sergeant Schmidt do an amazing job with that program. It's amazing. What if you did nothing wrong and you had proof and the police denied your request for the video? I would dismiss the case like I did in Hampton City Court. John, I'll tell you, if that happened to you, I apologize on whatever jurisdiction. But without not knowing the circumstances and all that, I'd be wrong to comment on that. I have to go back and say this again. We are not always going to get it right. We are going to make mistakes. And when we do, we have to own up to that and admit it and try to fix it and do our very best to decrease the possibility of it happening again. Not eliminate it because we're not perfect. But we have to try. Lorraine. She's responding back? Oh, okay.
Thank you, Isabella.
Isabella says happy birthday to Sarah, and Sarah says thank you. I'm just going to change seats with Sarah now. Liz Rollins, hey Chief, officially involved with the search for Cody. I know how well NMPD and Hampton partner. We have a great partner relationship. I've been talking to Chief Talbert from day one. As a matter of fact, I was in Albemarle, North Carolina, seeing Chief Bullhurst be sworn in as the new chief in Albemarle. And I had a conversation with Chief Talbert. I offered every resource, every bit of technology. So we are talking hand in hand. I had conversations with him all weekend and again yesterday afternoon. So let me tell you, it's heart-wrenching to see the picture of that beautiful baby, that beautiful little boy. It's my hope and prayer that we're able to find him. There's not much that affects a police department more than a child. We've had our issues here, so I know exactly what he's going through and dealing with. But we are locked in hand, and if there's anything at all that he needs, he doesn't even have to ask. It's just, I need this chief, and it's there. So thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. Can a DWI, not DUI, even though disqualify you from becoming an officer. So the answer, Lorraine, is can it immediately disqualify you? No. Do people make mistakes in their lives? Yeah, we're human, right? If you could find me 470, that's our authorized strength here in Newport News. So you could find me 470 perfect people, I'd hire them tomorrow. I can't find one. We all make mistakes. We take a look at that collectively, the totality of what we're looking at the individual. But individuals make mistakes, right? So no, is it an automatic disqualifier? No. If it happened yesterday, probably would like to see a little bit of distance between that. But we look at the holistic person, not just one incident. Faith, happy early Faith, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Lorraine, wait, who's 11? Oh, your son that wants to be an officer is 11. Got you. Yeah, so that's young, but there are some things that we can do. Just send me a number, a way to contact you. Maybe just sit down and meet him, bring him to headquarters. I come meet him, or whatever, whatever would work. But stop running away from your pride. Johnson, I don't know what that means, man. I don't know that you'd find somebody more humble than me. I don't know how you would want me to answer that question. If I ask you that question, what would you say? I don't know anyone who's perfect, and I'm not prideful at all. I'm here sitting down taking questions from citizens, some that I know and some that I don't. I'm trying to be open and transparent, so I have to push back on that. I don't know what that means. Lorraine, he watched me when I was a rescue squad, and it made him want to do it even more. I've asked him multiple times why, and every time he says to help other people. So Lorraine, he's got the right heart. And when I talk about trying to bring people in this organization, Johnson, I would say this to you as well. I'm looking for people who have a compassion and care about people. Right? I'm not looking for who scores the highest on a test, who's the best driver, who's the most proficient. I'm looking for someone who cares about people. All the other stuff we can train, but I'm trying to bring people into this organization who care about citizens, community, of every race, of every background, right? That just want to help people. That's what I'm looking for. And when we as chiefs or when we as officers find those individuals, we try to latch on to them. So I'd love to meet him. That sounds great. Let's see. Forgive me, just scrolling up a little bit. There are no sidewalks in the area. Lighting is an issue as well when it's dark. The kids have on dark clothes. Oh, I understand. So, Annette, I'll take a look at it and I can pass the information on. It's a little bit of a different scope for sidewalks, but lighting we can certainly look at. But people have concerns, and I'll certainly pass it on to like planning and development and see what they think. Sandra, thank you, Sandra. You're welcome. Shelby, hey, how are you? Glad to have you on board. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Victoria, I sent information so someone can call me. Perfect, will do. Absolutely. Victoria, if you send me information about, make sure I'm tracking you about joining the department or being an officer, you'll get a call today or tomorrow. Lexi, thank you. I appreciate it also from our family to all of you. Thank you for all that you do to protect. Lexi, thank you very much. That means a lot. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Keith, enjoy your lunch. Take care, my friend. I'll be back here at 6 when we talk, and appreciate you for joining in and everything that you do, my friend. I appreciate your service. Thank you. Shay, speaking on the Cody Bigsby issue, do you have contact info for me to pass on that Therapy Dog International would like to offer their therapy dogs and the DART team? Shay, if you send me a number, I will send you a contact through the Hampton Police Department if that's something they need. I will tell you, it might be a very good call. We always try to look at our officers when they respond to critical scenes and they see things. We can suppress that in our subculture, but it doesn't go away. So that's a great opportunity. I'll send you some information on who to reach out there, probably the PIO there in the Hampton Police Department, just to make that offer. And thank you for making that offer. Chris, good to have you on board, Chris. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you, buddy. I reached out to the water team incorporated and got no reply. Water team. I think that has some movement. Okay. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Nat. I appreciate you. Thank you. I can help get into contact with the water team as well. Okay, they're just going back. Okay.
We're caught up.
Very good. So we're all caught?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. 12:37. That's pretty good. Doing good. So I appreciate all the conversation and the questions. And like I said, I hope I didn't miss any. Sometimes when we go back through, there's a glitch and it'll be, hey, Chief, here's two that we missed. So trying just to share some information, just being transparent. We had our use of force review board Friday of last week. Our recruits that graduate in March, smaller class, they had their CIT training. And that training deals with handling critical incidents, individuals that are in some type of crisis, right, or having some, whether it be mental breakdown or depression, but it really teaches you how to talk to people and de-escalate things. So I got to watch some of that. The instructors were phenomenal, and the recruits. I'd heard some instructors talk about how some of the recruits struggled a little bit and then got better as the week went on. So that was pretty impressive to see, but I thought they did a really good job. But I just kind of went in, sit in the back, and just watched them. I got to talk to them a little bit as their graduation gets close. I'm excited for them to come out and be assigned to precincts. We'll probably do the draft and call it like the NFL draft, but the captains sit in a room and they fight for which recruits they want. And we'll get that done pretty quick. Because I want the recruits to know really by the 1st of March what precinct they're going to. I think that's important. So, Rhea, yeah, of course I still remember you. I'm bad with names. But I never forget people, circumstances, faces, and situations. So absolutely. So I want to tell you about graduation. Next week is our promotion ceremony. So we have some officers getting promoted to sergeant and civilians that have gotten promoted within the department. And we had our ceremony, a promotion ceremony last year, but because the sergeant test, it lagged a little bit and some people challenged some questions. I didn't want to rush it. I wanted to give them time to get family in town. I did not want to rush that and force it. So we're going to do our promotion ceremony next week. We'll be up in the North Precinct area, up around Mitchville. We'll have our ceremony there. I'm looking forward to that. So they've already been promoted and are actively working in supervisory roles, but they need that day where they're recognized, or depending on their badge, their family are there. It's important. They worked hard to get it. It's important. So I'm looking forward to that. So we'll have our promotion ceremony next week, our graduation ceremony in March. But I'd be hey, Carrie, it's good to have you on board today. Thank you. Thanks for helping out with the review board last week as well. I'd be remiss. We're in February. This is Black History Month. We did some videos that I don't know if they've been posted yet, but I will tell you as I reflect back in my time in Richmond Police Department before here in Newport News, and I've been here almost be 4 years in July 4th weekend actually. But Black History Month, what does it mean to me? So I remember situations and learning, right? I remember studying Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and Charles Drew, the physician, the contributions that they made. I remember studying, and there it was called social studies, and I don't know if it's still called social studies now, but social studies, government history, world history. I remember challenges that African Americans made and had to overcome, or that they were faced with, and the perseverance. One of my heroes, so I'm a big baseball fan. So one of my heroes was Jackie Robinson. And I remember in the book about his life, the story about his life, 42, right? That was his baseball number. And I remember Jackie Robinson, the first African-American baseball player in the National Baseball League and Major League Baseball. And so I'm watching this documentary, and he's frustrated. He's frustrated with his teammates. He's frustrated with the crowd, and he's frustrated with opposing teams. He gets hit by pitchers more than anybody else in the league. He's just frustrated. He breaks a bat, and he goes down into the locker room. He's frustrated. He's mad. And the owner, then the Brooklyn Dodgers, talks to him, and Mr. Rickey. And Jackie Robinson said, why me? Why did you pick me? There's other why did you pick me? And I remember in that movie that the owner, Branch Rickey, he looked at Jackie Robinson and he said to him, because I knew you could do it. I knew you could handle it because I see something special in you. And not just talking about his natural ability to play the game of baseball, but his strength inside, his perseverance inside to face challenges and adversity and overcome it, and to take it and to keep moving forward. And in this profession in law enforcement, I speak about that only because it's the profession that I chose for my career. It's been extremely rewarding. You meet tremendous people. But for African Americans who do this job and have done the job that years ago when you're only allowed to work in certain areas, or you can only drive certain cars, or you can't respond to these type neighborhood calls, you can't work in this neighborhood, or we're not going to promote you among this level, or even getting into this profession. There were a lot of obstacles and challenges over the years, right? And obstacles that African American officers had to go through to serve community, to make a difference in our in citizens' lives, to help people. That to me is heroic. So Black History Month, here in Newport News, I read a lot up on, I never met the man, but I read a lot up on George Austin, Chief Austin. And Chief Grinstead, who's been here, I tease him, right, 60, 80 years. Chief Grinstead, who's been here for a long time, he was hired by George Austin. And you can read things in magazines or articles, but to sit down and hear Chief Grinstead, who was hired by Chief Austin, it's personal. And even after George Austin retired from here, when Chief Grinstead I would go by and check on him, I'd go by and talk to him. It made an impact on Chief Grinstead's life. And that's heroic to me. And then look at all the individuals that Chief Grinstead has impacted here in this department, how much he's given back to the community, and may have never got into law enforcement if it wasn't for George Austin hiring him. So I appreciate the history, the challenge, obstacles that African Americans have had to overcome. And I'm not just, I'm talking about in law enforcement. I'm not, all through history, I get that. When I see it in baseball and policing, because those are things I'm involved in. It's something when I know what it's like to play baseball, and I know the pressures there, and to be the first player in Major League, right, on national television, that what he went through, what Jackie Robinson went through, George Austin, one of the first African American lieutenants ever promoted in this country in law enforcement. So what does Black History Month mean to me? Time to step back and reflect on what some of the most valued members in our community have done and sacrifices they have made to lay the groundwork for others to come after them, and the impact that they have made in those that have followed them. That matters. That matters. Did I miss anything? Let's see. Carrie, again, thanks for being here. Michael, well, watch the Mountain Dew treat you. It's bad for your waistline, buddy. Let me tell you, I know, and in college, when I was playing, speaking of baseball, when I was playing baseball in college, I started like, man, pants are getting tighter. So I had to switch from regular to diet. So I'm working on it. Nikki, thank you. I don't know if some would agree with you, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Was there something found in the water? Is that referring to something found in the water?
I'm not aware of any.
Are you referring to a case or? Now I know. Look, I went out to have lunch a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting beside some guys that were doing some work in the bridge tunnel, I believe, and they said a crane fell off of a barge into the water. So I've seen a little bit on that. I'm like, you guys are messing with me. Like, no, Chief, it fell off right, the big crack in the water. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but if you're talking about the case, Cody, missing person, no, nothing, not that I know of, nothing was found in the water. So we talked about promotion, we talked about graduation, we talked about Black History Month. It's also teen dating awareness. Now, there's a better term for it, but teen violence and teen dating awareness month. It's one of the things we talk about with the young adult police commissioners. How do we get that message out? Domestic violence, domestic abuse, verbal abuse, it doesn't just happen with adults. It can happen at teenagers. So those are conversations that we have as the group. As a matter of fact, they're going to go with me to the next city council meeting, introduce themselves to the mayor and city council. So my hope is that most of the group will be there, but the ones speaking will be the president, the two vice presidents, and the secretary. They kind of tell what school they're from, And thank you, Liz. They'll be talking about what school they're from and what they do. They're not looking for money. They're not looking for any contribution. Just that we want to make things better in our community, and we're trying to bring a voice from the young adult perspective. So, like I said, it is a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior from every high school we started out with. So our goal is to have 24, but we have 28. We let a couple skate in there. And I will tell you now, they are not scholars. They are not the top. It's not a mandatory GPA. It is individuals that are referred to us by guidance counselors, principals, teachers, school resource officers, individuals that want to make a difference and see a change and contribute. And I'll tell you, man, I love those kids. You know, they asked some hard questions. I shared with them some things I would talk about in the year-end press conference that we did at the end of January. I shared with them things I was going to talk about, showed them the presentation before I released it to the community. But we have some hard conversations. Now have fun, right? We'll put them in a golf cart and put these goggles on that make it look like it's supposed to make you see like if you had too much to drink. And of course, oh, we can drive this course, Chief. So we set up a cone course, and what do you think? You think they knock over every cone, right? Every cone they knock over. What we did a couple years ago is we held forums in the high schools. So in whatever high school that they represent, so let's say Cameron and Woodside, I would offer the department, myself, and 3 or 4 other individuals for a panel, diverse, right? Not just diverse in skin color, but what we do. A homicide detective, a police officer, and maybe someone in forensics. And just ask questions, someone from internal affairs. And sometimes it's hard to get young people to I don't want to be the first one to ask questions, so we'll do it through index cards. But I'd like those commissioners from those schools to almost facilitate that forum. So my hope is to do that again this year. We talked about that. We could do it Zoom if we had to, but I'd really like to be out in person and work with the kids. I think that's important to let them ask questions to us and then also expose officers, sworn in civilian, to them, to young people. I just think that's important. Can you scroll up just a little bit? NPD, we look forward to doing more this year. What? So Liz, we got our Kiwanis Club is Greater Hilton is a proud supporter of the young adult. Yes, Liz, you guys have been fantastic. We do have a celebration at the end of the year. May hit you up, maybe help sponsor some of that. But we will be at one of the hotels here, and we have like a year-end celebration. We give some awards away, and I'll tell you, man, those kids are. I love those kids. I think they're some of the most talented young people we have, in not just in our state, but in our country, man. They have real conversations. I think one thing, and I'm not speaking for any other entity, but I think one time is sometimes in things we try to address, we leave out their voice. So should there be a school resource officer in middle schools and high schools? And we sit and have those discussions. But are we including the youth in those discussions? How do they feel? Their response might surprise you. It certainly surprised me. Let's see. Can we search on railroad tracks? Search, I call it, is asked but never heard anything back from Cody. Nikki, I saw Chief Talbert had a press conference yesterday, and he talked about, if there's areas that people want to search, that he's very, very comfortable with that. He encourages people to stay involved. So I don't know that there'd be an issue. I'm not sure what railroad tracks you're talking about, but what he was talking about, from what I took from it, and I could be wrong, but people to search, if everyone kind of looked around their immediate area, their yard, their neighborhood, he still encourages that. Like I said, when I talked to him again yesterday, we still had those conversations. So, oh yeah, I'm so glad. Okay, Isabella, I'm not. Yeah, Newport News. So, Nikki, again, if you're talking about, I called and asked, but never heard anything back from Cody. Nikki, did you call? Did you call Hampton and ask that, or? Yeah, I'm just not sure what you mean, and I apologize. It's so important and impactful to have SROs in many schools, as you can imagine. So, Liz, I would agree with you, and I know that's how I feel. that school research, not only for protection, but really to build relationships with students. But how do kids feel? So you and I may feel that way, but do we take the time to ask the students who attend those facilities how they feel? And I will tell you, I asked them. I wanted to know. And it was like 98%. We want officers in the school. It makes us feel safe. It gives us an opportunity. Now, I think we have to have clear rules. I can tell you, I don't want officers enforcing kids in the hallway. I don't want officers enforcing this kid has a cell phone. Or this. Steve is talking in class to Sarah. Steve and Sarah are going back and forth in class talking, and a teacher is having trouble with that classroom and wants. That's not what we want. That's not. So, matter of fact, even talking with some congressmen, and I think it was had a lot of conversation. I greatly respect Bobby Scott. Had a lot of conversation with Bobby Scott about, and he talks about having clear guidelines. Marcia Price as well, Delegate Price, having clear guidelines of what we want officers to do in schools, and I think that has to be a good conversation of what our expectations are. It's not about making arrests for. I remember in high school and push somebody. It's about building relationships. Now, are there things that happen that arresting? Yes. But my push, my recommendation is for them to be in schools and build relationships and help protect the school. Newport News. If we could search on tracks because it had no trespassing signs, we didn't want to get in trouble. Oh, I see what you're saying, Nikki. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I'll take a look at it. I know that the information. I don't know all the information that Hampton has, but we talked about some of the things that we have and the immediate radius around that area. So I don't. Yeah, let me kind of let me get back with you on that, Nikki. I'm not 100% sure. I see what you're asking now. I'm tracking you now. Sorry, I'm slow. I'm tracking you now. It's a good question. SROs could do a walk with me program and spend a few minutes one-on-one with kids throughout the year to interact personally with them and build trust. So Liz, for me, it's bigger than that. For me, it is building a relationship with kids in the school, saying hello to them, decreasing any fear, or to me, it's just about relationships. I think that's important. That's why I want us interacting with our YMCA. Why I want us interacting with our Boys and Girls Clubs. That's why I want to do community programs. That's why we created that whole division about having conversations instead of confrontations. I work with Pastor Maxwell, president of the NAACP here in Newport News, and we talk about in-touch basketball and how important those relationships are. We changed our career development program to be a master police officer. You're taking so many classes. Well, here, what we wanted to do is have community interaction. So many hours that they interact with community, whether it's at a high school basketball game, football game, doing things for the Boys and Girls Club. All those things matter, and it's important for what we do. So I'd be remiss if I didn't highlight a special guest. Tracy, I just saw your post come in. It's great to have you. I hope all is well. I have a beautiful picture of your daughter in my office that I see every day. Matter of fact, when I meet with new recruits and we talk about this profession, right before they start the academy, or we're making the decision, oftentimes I will ask them if they know anything about this picture, and I will tell them the story of Katie. So, wow, it is great to have you on. I hope all is well. In the Sunshine State, I know it's a lot warmer there than it is here. I haven't seen any pictures lately. I'm just saying. But I hope you're doing well, and love you and your family, and it's just really good to have you here. I appreciate that. So it's 12:56. We're going to do a couple more minutes. I don't want to hold you up. I appreciate you all taking the time, those that chimed in, the questions. Look, some hugs going out already. I like that. But if you're not able to watch, at the 12 o'clock session, maybe you can look later on, see some questions, ask what we talked about. We'll do this again at 6 this evening, so I'll be back. I encourage anyone that has any other questions to please let me know. I want to thank the men and women that are doing this profession, sworn and civilian both. I our officers, our dispatchers, our detectives, individuals in records, our forensic technicians. I want to thank you for those that are training others. You know, just like other departments, we're getting hit with some shortages, but there's help on the way, right? We've got a great training division, a recruiting division. Like I said, we've got 13 that are coming out in March, another 28. My hope is that all of them will graduate in August, and we're starting to look for an academy in April. So that puts us back on track where we need to be. We just got to keep pushing that, bringing in new officers. We've had some laterals come in from some other departments. So I hope if you know someone that's interested in police work that I'm not comparing us to anyone else, but my hope is that you might recommend to take a look at this department. Here you're going to be treated like family. You're going to be accountable. When I'm looking for a heart of service and commitment to community and citizens, youth, big impact with youth, but that you matter, that you're not just a number or a code number or a computer number in this department. You're a member of our family. And I appreciate what the men and women who are doing this profession do now, what the recruits that are being trained by, I believe, one of the best training academies on the East Coast, what you will do tomorrow, and then the new officers that we'll bring in April, are those citizens that are looking at whether to join this department, to be a dispatcher or a police officer or a civilian capacity. I look forward to meeting you. And I appreciate what everyone does. Please look out for one another. It is Black History Month. Remember those that have gone before us and challenges that they've had to overcome and the impact that they've made on this profession, this city, and in our lives. So I thank you all for joining me. We'll do this again at 6 o'clock. I'm going to get out of your way. Hope I didn't take up too long. Appreciate the time, and I'll see you again this evening. God bless.